we're gonna play pool today. We're gonna see how that goes, because I'm not the best at it, but I sure do like it. It's fun, you know? It's a fun game to play. I think it's one of those things where your skill, I mean, obviously, in some ways, like, your skill doesn't really affect, like, who you're playing against, like, their skill, you know? It's because when it's your turn in pool, how good or bad your opponent is doesn't really affect you. It's dark in this tunnel. How good or bad they are doesn't affect you on your turn, right? Because as long as you can land a shot, it's up to you whether you land the next one, and the next one, and the next one. Obviously, where they leave the ball will affect you, but at the same time, most times, you know, like when you're playing, you're trying to just get ahead. So you're not really, in most cases, trying to leave the cue ball in a bad place for your opponent intentionally, you know? It might just end up being that way, or you might, you know, end up doing something like that, but for the most part, it's kind of like you're only against yourself, realistically, because it could go either way, where, like, you have a great player that you're going against, and either, you know, like, you hit, you know, you sink one, miss the next one, and then they just freaking run you down on a roll, land the next, like, you know, 10 consecutive shots, and just win the game immediately. It could happen. Might not happen. Could happen with a great player. Could happen with a bad player that just got lucky. But either way, you're only just improving yourself every chance you get. So that's one thing I always liked about pool, is even though you're, like, playing against someone, you're not really against them. You're kind of just against yourself. You're against just sort of the odds of what you get and the way things end up being laid out, you know? So we're gonna do that. Gonna go with a couple friends, play some pool. Maybe eat now. Depends if they're hungry. It's almost 7. The sun is setting soon. I've also got a new cool filter on my lens. It's a CPL filter, so it's supposed to, like, kind of darken things a little bit, increase some contrast, just do that. That's why when I went through that tunnel, it was disgustingly, it wasn't even a tunnel, it was just like, you just went under the freeway. So, like, there's a lot of exposed light. It wasn't even that, like, long. I think the length of that tunnel is literally just like 30 feet at most, probably. And I also have, like, the ISO limited pretty well, just because I'm trying to get consistent lighting. Because one thing about action cameras is when you're in an unpredictable environment, you want just the ISO to be able to automatically go between really low or really high. That way it decides how well lit or darkly lit your frame is, depending on the surrounding light. Which is cool on the fly, but you'll learn or kind of see that when that happens, your footage is, like, super imbalanced, right? Where in your editing software, if you're gonna go crazy trying to, like, equalize your lighting and, like, make sure it's all close enough, you're gonna be cutting chunks every so often. Like, this is a dark chunk, this is a light chunk, dark chunk, light chunk, and you're gonna, like, bring the darks up, bring the lights down, and do your best. So I found that it's best to leave, like, a certain cap. So I think I have my ISO right now, at least on the settings, at, like, 1600 for the highest, but it is what it is. We're trying new things. Filters are nice. I got some ND filters, but I forgot them at home. I didn't realize it, so I was, like, already on my way. But the CPL filter seems to be kind of like a nice one, where it kind of keeps the lights and the reflections and the glare from being too much, and just providing a nice, decent contrast. You just stick it over your camera and then take it off if you want. I thought about getting a variable ND filter, but decided it was better to just get a set where it's like an ND8, an ND16, ND32, and just swap them off as needed, instead of trying to find, like, just, you know, fine-tuning the lens and just doing that. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll get that one too, just for funsies. So I'm gonna drive. Also, I bought a cute little cage for my camera, the little Telesin Action 6 cage. It's pretty nice. It's like, I think it's aluminium, which is pretty nice. The Action 5 Pro came with, like, a plastic cage, what I really liked is the fact it came with it. It was free. So like you got free, bonus to protection, which is pretty cool. It was plastic, so anybody that had a problem with that, dude, it came free with your camera. It came free with your Xbox. Just buy a better one. Buy an actual aluminum or titanium or some other kind of metal cage for your Action 5 Pro. But for some reason, the Action 6 doesn't come with a free cage. It kind of made me sad because I had gotten used to just having this extra layer of protection around my camera at no extra cost. So I went and bought this metal one. It's pretty cool. It's pretty similar to like the Action 5 Pro one, where it has now like mounting clips on the side, so I can like mount my camera horizontally or vertically, which is pretty cool. And there's also a threading adapter on the side of it, so I can like stick this onto like a little, I think it's like a half inch, on some like half inch threading, I want to say. It's pretty cool. It's nice protection, tink tink tink. But what's also pretty cool about it is on the top of the camera, it has a cold shoe mount. So now I can like stick, some other adapters. I can stick the actual receiver for the Mic 3 on there if I want to get like direct to receiver connection and audio. Could do that, or could attach anything, any kind of lights, other stuff, other kind of mounts or adapters to that cold shoe mount. But one thing I did find out is the clip mount for the Mic 3 slides like perfectly into that cold shoe mount and can basically turn your Mic 3 into kind of like a little shotgun mic that's just sitting on the camera. And I think that's pretty freaking cool, because then, especially since the fact that it's like rotatable so nicely, I can have it so it's, like right now, where the camera pointing at me, the microphone on the clip, on the cold shoe mount, pointing at me. And also, since it's magnetic, I could just grab this dude, start talking to it, make it more official looking, more interview looking. But probably shouldn't be doing this while I'm driving, because now I'm distracting myself even more. So don't do that. But I can also put it on the camera like it was facing me, like this, or facing back for any time where I'm like, say walking around with the camera behind me, and I'm like, doing POV stuff, like when I'm walking around, and you guys need to hear me, and I'm behind the camera, so I can have the mic point at me instead of over there. It's pretty nice. Let me stick this back on there. And the fact that it's magnetic means that I don't have to like fidget too hard to put on there. Just get it in the almost right orientation, and then the magnet will pull it and snap it into place. It's pretty cool. I like it. That's what I'm doing now. I wanted to see kind of how it would be if I just, especially when it's like on the suction cup mount in my car, if this mic distance is pretty good for me, and also at the same time, anyone that's in the car, it's also kind of like pointing at them, so if they talk, you should be able to hear them somewhat decently. Not as good as me, because I'm like a foot away from the microphone. Maybe someone in the back seat, same thing, just depends on how loud they want to be, but we'll see if I like bump up the audio or whatever for them. That way it's not just like on me, on my shirt, like pointing up at me and like audio only in this area, where now it's like pointed at the stuff in front of the camera, which I think is pretty cool. I don't know, I think I geeked out pretty hard when I found out I could just like slide the clip in there, like, and it's like the perfect width. It slides so snugly, like, or at least suspect that I'm pretty sure DJI thought about this, because I think even like the Mic 2 clip could do it. And it just shows that like the random little things that they just like, yeah, we're also going to make your mic attached to cold shoe mounts if possible. We're just going to add this extra layer, and it's pretty nice, because then now it's like you have created a pretty simple kind of like shotgun mic for your camera, where now it's not just a shotgun mic, because normally shotgun mics have to be attached, screwed down, connected in some way to the camera itself, but you have this cool wireless thing that connects to your camera seamlessly, but also is easily removable because it's magnetic. You just pop it off, hand it to somebody, clip it to yourself in another way, take the whole clip off, clip it to you, clip it to the magnet, whatever you're going to do, all these possible things. But then if you leave the clip on there, it's like, boom, as soon as that's done, I need my mic back, you're like, here, give me that back. Beep. Pop it right back up on top, and you're on your way. Traffic's getting a little annoying It is like 7 o'clock on a Friday. I'm gonna scoot out because I think this, yeah, okay. Alright. So yeah, I thought that was really cool about the microphone, and at least the capability with this cage. And I think a lot of the cages I've seen, I went with the Telesin cage, but I feel like any other cage you're gonna go with, I feel they're all pretty similar. It's all the same kind of blueprint. It just depends on how they implement it. You know what I mean? And what I really liked, I think what I ended up doing, because the Action 5 Pro cage didn't come with a cold shoe mount on the top. It was just pretty bare bones. It just came with the hooks on the side of it, so you could attach, like mount it to like other things. But that's it. So what I would do, I think I did it with the video where I went to like Crumble Cookie, or not Crumble, it was like Insomniac Cookies. That place I was like open late over by UC Riverside, where I didn't have a way to do that, and I didn't want to clip it to myself and have it. So what I did, since the mic clip was metal and magnetic, I attached it to the side of the cage and kind of did it as like a makeshift shotgun mic that just wasn't the sturdiest, because like on this clip, the clip's not going anywhere. The mic is magnetically attached, so it's got some pretty good strength to it. So you're like, it's not going anywhere in most cases. But with a hard enough wind, or shaking around violently enough, it probably would. But it's pretty secure, pretty steady, especially for the lighter things you expect to do. At least when it comes to vlogging and stuff. You're going to be doing more high intensity stuff. Maybe like also try to tape it down or something, or do what you probably would do and just put the microphone somewhere more secure, right? Because that's one thing about this, is like if you're just gonna do low intensity things, you're gonna just not really need to be prepared for the worst conditions. You're just like, hey, this thing's sitting on top of this camera magnetically, perfectly fine. That's it. Don't worry about it. You adapt to what you need to do. That's it. Move over. Anytime I drive for like, I don't know if it's distance or time or just like the change in altitude, because according to my handy dandy altitude meter, I believe, I've gone up in altitude by like 45 meters. So I'm now like roughly 50 meters higher than where I first started. I think it's altitude, but like my ears pop like crazy. So like I'll be driving, and it happens when I'm going to work, because this is the same path I'm taking work since we're going like to meet somewhere near work. And it's like I feel like my ears popping. I'm like, it gets me. It's not painful, thankfully, but like it's just annoying because I feel it. It's that thing of like, especially when you're sick, you know your hearing's messed up. You know things are like muffled or not, that good. But then it's like when you're recovering from your sickness and you finally like swallow just right, or you hit a yawn and you just hear like it pops, and then you just hear in HD again, and it's amazing. It's the best. So that's what I'm praying for right now, because my left ear feels a little weird, but it is what it is. The sun is setting in the background, or at least where I'm facing, which means it's going to be getting pretty dark soon. We had daylight savings, so the sun's barely going down at 7 o'clock, which is good. I'm liking that. It means I've got just more sunlight in my day, which means if I'm going out and doing things, I get the sunlight for a little more time, which means I get good camera stuff, not only with videos, but also with like my actual like true camera. So I'm excited for that, because it means I don't have to plan things as early. I get to do more like afternoony, evening things without feeling like I was racing against the clock, because the sun would set by like 4:30, and now the sun's setting at like 7:30, because the sun's kind of going down over the horizon, and it's like about to be 7. That means you got like at least another like 10-15 minutes before the sun fully disappears, at least. So that's pretty good. It will likely mean though that if I'm going to continue shooting, I'll need to cut off my video, pick it back up after I either take off the CPL filter or raise the ISO like also low-key, I'm kind of liking the CPL filter existing as like an extra layer of protection against my like default lens. So I think I might just raise the ISO, understanding that now if I used to have it at like 1 to 1600, I'm treating it like this 1 to 1600 is now maybe 1 to 3200. But with this filter, that's what kind of brings it down to like, actually it's like 1 to 2000. You know what I mean? Because the filter just darkened a little bit. So it's like, maybe that's a good range I can kind of do instead. I feel like for now, since I'm in a safe car, I'm just gonna rip that off. And there you go, we're back. See, it's really cool. It's just a little lens that I was wondering how it would attach. It was like something magnetic, but it's kind of, it just like slides in right over it. But it has like some, basically just rubber on the inside, so it like slides on and like has grip. But it's pretty cool. I'm really liking this. And as I was mentioning, for wanting to keep it on, preferably all the time for protection. But yeah. So we have reached our first destination. This mic thing is so cool. I like it that it's just like right there, right above the lens. We've reached our first destination. I have to pee really bad, so I'm gonna go do that. And then probably pick back up when we get back on the road and continue moving. See you guys soon. Bye. Yeah, I should have been able to put it wherever. Oh, I'm killing myself. We just got home. It's like 1 in the morning. Stayed a lot longer than I thought we would. There was 4 of us, and we got there around 8:30. The place closes at 2, which is crazy. Might actually try to like follow through on that one day. But we got around to like 12ish, and we were like, damn, we've just been playing for like 4 hours nonstop. Maybe we should go. So we wrapped up, left. It was really fun. Played a bunch of regular pool. We were doing teams, so 2-on-2 for pretty much the entire night. And around like the last hour and a half, we started playing like 9-ball and 10-ball. But it's really fun. I like playing pool. Pool is fun. Pool is great. I'm really tired. I'm gonna go inside and just vibe. It was a really fun time. Try to get some footage. Got quite a bit, I think. Didn't really get too much of myself because normally I'm the one holding the camera and pointing at people and, you know, existing. I'll catch you guys later. Have a good one. We'll see you next time. Like, comment, subscribe, all the fun stuff as usual, and we'll see you guys later. Bye.